Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the beautiful Karateng village. We are joining you from Kisumu in Western Kenya. This is our village where we spend quite a few months. I also live in Long Beach, California. And if you're new to our channel, I'm in the process of returning permanently back to the village. I'm trying to get a good angle because the sun is really hitting from the back over here. And I'm trying to make sure that my video is not messed up by the angle of the video, by the sun, I mean. So anyway, guys, welcome back to our channel. I'm a Kenyan American who is returning to the village. And in the process, I help diasporans and people who live in cities, not just diasporans, do construction, find builders, interior designers, and things like that. So this afternoon, I want to talk with you about the reality that not everybody back here wants us back in the village. I had no idea, but after having lived in the village for some time, it's become very clear that while we want to come back to the village, not everybody really wants us to come back, and it's really sad. There are two things that really disappointed me when I came back. The first was that reality that finding out that we are not welcome in all places. And then second, the reality that the friends that I had before I left 2 decades ago moved on. People move on. And when I came back, I was expecting to fit right where I left. That was not to be the case. And so over the years, as I've been traveling, because I go back and forth a lot, as I've been traveling between Long Beach, California and Karateng, I've had to rebuild completely new networks. And this is one of the reasons why we are putting together a group where returnees and people who have lived outside in diaspora are going to get together. So our first meeting, as I mentioned, will be in December 29th in Kisumu. So if you've not bought your ticket to Kenya, look for it. December 29th, we will be here in Kisumu. We'll get together. It'll be all returnees, current and future returnees. Those who are thinking about returning, if you're going to be home in December, come join us in December 29th. There's a friend of mine who lives in Arizona who is going to host us. And this is everybody. If you're thinking about returning or if you have returned, or if you've lived in diaspora and you want to get together, connect, and learn from other folks, come join us. Because for people like me, I've had to rebuild my network completely. Because almost every single friend I knew before I left moved on. And so when I came back, it was just a very weird vibe because I couldn't connect with those who were there. Not because of what I did. It just turned out that in my mind, I thought I was still just the regular Kenyan I was. But then it turns out that in some spaces we are perceived differently. And so reconnecting was not easy, but I've had to rebuild a whole new network. Part of it is a network of returnees and people who have had experience living outside Kenya. So December 29th, we are going to have a get together. We'll just marry, compare notes, get to know who's where, who's doing what, so that we can all learn from each other because folks are doing all kinds of things. So today I want to share with you information about 3 groups of people who do not want to see us back in Africa. It's unfortunate, but I want you to be aware of that because you all know I'm in the business of selling Africa. I'm in the business of selling the village. I make people see what we enjoy. And by the way, this is actually a Sunday afternoon. I'm just chilling at home. I've been running around a little bit, and so I'm spending the whole afternoon just relaxing in our beautiful hacienda. And so, in truth, there are many people who don't want us back here. I'm going to share with you 3 groups. Group number 1 is about people who benefit from our being outside. There are many, many ways that people benefit from our being outside. The first is that there are people who run our projects when we are gone. So we send them money, they buy stuff, they do stuff, all they do is give us reports. I'm one of those folks. So when we return, it obviously means that gravy train dries up. And so those people don't want us back. You'd think it's a small thing, but when you show up, you kind of quickly realize that they are disappointed that we are now back in the village, and therefore we don't need to send them money to buy stuff because we can simply go do it by ourselves, or their role has to shift because we don't need them in the same way we did when we were away. So people who benefit from us financially often don't like us coming back. Now, the other thing too is that this group of folks worry that when we come back, we may not have the same amount of money that we did when we lived abroad. And so they worry that coming back home could compromise their own financial well being. And so whenever we bring up this topic of we want to come back to the village, they're like, no, 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 no. You hang in there, just stay in there, do what you got to do. But they often don't realize what we have to deal with when we are living outside Kenya. And so unfortunately, the folks who benefit from you being away may not be thrilled about the idea of you coming back to the village. For good or bad reasons. Some of them are just concerned that things may fall apart. Others, for the most part, and this is one of my favorite chill spots, where we hang out with the kids, usually in the afternoons. So yeah, people who benefit from us financially don't want us back. And they may not say it, but as you talk to them, you hear their concerns coming in all sorts of ways. The second group of folks who worry about us coming back are our parents, our loved ones. In part because I have met quite a few people who live in diaspora but have very hostile homes or neighborhoods. And so our parents worry that when we come back, we have to deal with all the other stuff that they have to worry about in the village, whether it is safety, whether it's relatives who are doing all kinds of things, or whether it's actually a parent who is very difficult. Because I know some folks who have very, very challenging parents. And so if, let's say, your mom is the challenging one and your dad is the good one, usually it's the reverse. The good parent often worries that when you come back, you're going to have to deal with the toxic parent. And in truth, there are many, many returnees who have a lot of toxic parents out there. So parents who love us worry that when we come back home, then it simply means that we're going to spend more time around the toxic parents or the toxic siblings. And so for the people who love us, they know that us being away is a good thing because it keeps us away from all of these folks who can make life miserable. So those people are not too thrilled about us coming back. Now, the last group of people who I know are not too excited about us being in the village are people who see us as potential competition. Whether you're talking about competition for resources, competition for jobs, competitions for space, competitions for mates, there are people who are not too happy. And the one way you find out that they don't like us being here is when something goes wrong for us. Because these folks would be so happy to see us fail and return to diaspora. Because they're like, oh, at least they don't have to deal with us when it comes to competition. Now, many returnees don't care to come back home to look for jobs. Almost all the clients I work with don't come back to look for work. So I just want to assure you folks, returnees don't typically come to compete for jobs. In fact, many of us come to create jobs. I can't imagine a scenario where I leave my work in Long Beach to come and teach at a university here. Depend on that work. I can do it maybe on a voluntary basis, but I cannot imagine coming back and having to compete for jobs with other folks. Yeah, I would not want to do that. And first of all, the work conditions are so different. So different that I know I would really struggle. I've met quite a few of my professor friends who have tried to transition, and it's been rough. Now, I don't know if it applies to all professions, but I've seen my colleagues in higher education who left teaching jobs or university jobs in diaspora, came back to Kenya, went through the system, and they just gave up because the systems can be very different, good or bad, very different. So we're not coming back to compete for jobs. Now, on the dating field, people with diaspora experience are unique in that set because Kenyans love things that are foreign. That's just part of who we are as a culture. That Kenyans just love, whether it's a language, whether it's a culture, whether it's movies. Kenyans simply love foreign stuff or even just foreign people. In fact, of all the places I've lived in, Kenya would probably rank number one or very high when it comes to the one place that welcomes foreign stuff. We like foreign people, we like foreign things. And so I know when diasporans come, in terms of the dating market, my guess would be that perhaps if you have the diaspora experience, then maybe you might be looked at favorably as opposed to somebody who has never lived outside Kenya. So folks, we are not here to compete. We are just coming here to make Africa a better place. One of the things that causes me lack of sleep is just dreaming about an Africa where anybody can come in and lead a dignified life. So that's all we care about. That's what we're trying to do. So just so you know, if you're a returning person right now, or if you're thinking about returning in the future, remember Don't expect the networks you left to remain the same. In fact, I only have about 3 friends that I knew before I left Kenya who have remained exactly the same. We connected the same way. The rest of them, things change. And I'm okay with that. Things happen. You'll have to build new networks. And so, as I said, on the 29th, we are getting together in Kisumu. Come join us. I'll see you folks in the next video. Thank you.